up news, a look into the history of a seasoned developer, and a brief on a well-loved game. This is Game World.
Hello and welcome. I'm Robert.
And I'm Ariel. There are only a few days left on the Steam PC Autumn Sale. It features a vast library of games that include new and old hits, small indie titles, and AAA games. Time is running out, so spend wisely.
Dark Horse Comics announced they are releasing the Art of the Cuphead show. The Netflix series is a spin-off of the game which shares the same name. The book is priced at $49.99 and is slated to release on June 27, 2023. Be sure to look out for that.
Remedy Entertainment made a statement on a blog post that they will be working with 505 Games to develop Control 2, the sequel to the 2019 hit. Working with a $50 million budget, wow, that's a lot, which is almost twice the amount to develop the previous game. We can expect a much larger scoop from the final product. If you haven't checked out the first game, it's available on Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One.
Lionsgate has acquired the motion picture rights to the Sega game classic Streets of Rage. The game centers on a group of ex-cops who take on a crime syndicate who hold a firm grasp on the fictional metropolis Wood Oak City. Derek Kolstad, who penned the John Wick films, has been tapped to write the film adaptation. He is joined by Toru Nakahara, I hope I pronounced that right, who produced the Sonic the Hedgehog movies and will oversee the production. Never thought I would see Sonic and John Wick in the same sentence.
That's a mouthful.
Coming up, we look into the history of Crystal Dynamics as a developer. We'll be right back.
Are you a student feeling stressed and overwhelmed? Maybe you just need someone to talk to. Well, the counselors at the Del Mar Counseling Center can be that someone for you. The Counseling Center is free to all Del Mar College students, and all the counselors are here to provide a safe place for every student. The Del Mar College Counseling Center is located upstairs in the Harvin Center in room 223A. Call 361-698-1586 or visit the Del Mar website for more information.
How'd you get sniped like that? Like, you didn't even shoot me back. Have you even played this game before? What are you doing here, kid? This isn't Minecraft survival games. You actually have to be good to play Halo. I have no idea what a 12-year-old like you has on this game. Look, kid, if you don't know how to play the game, maybe you should just get off and leave it to the adults and people who actually know what they're doing. Yeah, bro, you really think you're a real Sonic player? You don't even play Sonic like that. I bet you don't even own Sonic colors. Yeah, kid. Yeah, I bet you played Sonic, I believe, so you even beat the first boss. What are you doing, little boy? You don't even know how to play this game. You probably don't even know who Shadow the Hedgehog is, you fake fan. Maybe you should just get off and leave it to the adults and people who actually know what they're doing. Have you even played this game before? So what are you doing, little boy? You don't even know how to play this game.
It's Christmas time again. A time for joy, a time for cheer, and a time for house fires. Make sure you're cautious when you're baking cookies this year. Make the cookies a hit. Don't get your kitchen lit.
This message brought to you by a 23-year-old woman. When you bake cookies, be sure to use a timer.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here at Game World.
Crystal Dynamics has been one of the leading developers for the past 30 years. Wow. And the properties they have touched are still considered fan favorites to this day. So, we reviewed 2 games from different points in their history to showcase the developers' evolution. Here's Legacy of Kain, Defiance.
Legacy of Kain Defiance was originally released in 2003 on PlayStation 2 and Xbox as the 5th and final entry in the series culminating from events spanning from 2 series. That said, the series has gone through many changes with each entry, from gameplay to a very convoluted story that grew more confusing as it continued. Defiance starts off where the last game ended, with a bloodthirsty vampire lord, Kane, chasing a wizard for reasons that aren't too clear. While exploring, Kane finds upgrades for his health and attacks. After the first chapter, the game switches to Raziel, Kane's former lieutenant who is somehow even more dead than a vampire. He desires to escape the confines of the underworld to rid his bindings and run free. By the way, if it sounds vague as to what the character wants, the answer doesn't present itself in-game. Games like this at the time provided manuals for players to read over to learn the history of the world and characters that inhabit it. The controls were difficult to figure out, only using trial and error as guidance. But even after figuring it out, the controls are awkward to say the least, and the options menu offers very little to remapping them. Working with what it offers, depending on the player, you can adapt, but the controls are still busy with some of the buttons relayed to the computer keyboard for access. The differences between the two characters' gameplay are minimal. They mirror the same abilities except one jumps, one flies, one sucks blood, and one sucks souls. One of the most annoying obstacles working against the game is the camera. Unlike most games today that give you complete autonomy over the camera, this works with fixed angles, making it hard to judge platforming and oncoming enemies on and off screen. You won't know what enemies are present until projectiles are thrown at you, and even after you are aware, there isn't a way to judge how many enemies you have left, leaving you vulnerable to more attacks. The world of Nosgoth is very much inspired by popular fantasy of its time. It has the weirdness of Mortal Kombat and the aesthetic and color palette of movies like 2003's Van Helsing. That was silly. One of the higher quality features is the focus on vocal performance. Despite the confusing story, the performances propel the story forward. Since the world is devoid of an ensemble, most of the time the characters narrate their feelings and offer direction where the player needs to investigate next.
I hated to restore his dignity, but I would need to return this to his monument before I could progress. At last, I discovered a conduit into the material realm.
For its time, the acting is decent and manages to deliver cheesy dialogue with a bit of charm. Although Legacy of Kain Defiance stands as a product of its time, with its linear level design, awkward camera, and paper-thin story, Defiance makes up for its shortcomings with a lot of action and puzzles that do require some thought. We give Legacy of Kain Defiance a 3 out of 5.
The Embracer Group, who earlier this year acquired Crystal Dynamics along with their IPs, put out a public survey asking fans if they would like to see a return of the Legacy of Kain series. They received over 100,000 responses. Phil Rogers, CEO of Embracer's 12th operative group said, quote, "We hear you loud and clearly, and we will continue to update you on the what if possibilities ahead for Legacy of Kain in the future. So, nothing definite yet, but we could see more coming soon."
Next up is our review for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, a recent entry in the series which started back in 2013. Enjoy.
Originally released in September of 2018, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the third and latest entry into the series, which started with Tomb Raider in 2013. Following the popular Rise of the Tomb Raider, this third game makes some slight changes from the previous one and is primarily set in the much warmer climates of Peru. Lara Croft's latest adventure starts in Mexico, where she and her friend and confidant Jonah race to a MacGuffin that will have world-changing ramifications if they don't acquire it from Trinity, an ancient organization with ties to Lara's past. They'll use it for evil. The beginning favors character work over story, leaving the player wondering what exactly is going on. The focus leans on Lara's dangerous obsession with beating Trinity, but is balanced by Jonah acting as a moral compass.
Oh, I'm the only one!
You're the only one that can what? You don't know that you caused all this, Lara! Not everything is about you!
If you are wondering where the real setup for the story is, you'll find it in Lara's journal entries in the menu, a detail that admittedly can easily be missed if you are not curious about everything on your own. As far as to what this organization wants, it's still as vague as the previous game. They might as well declare, "We are here to do evil, now get out of our way." The gameplay favors stealth more than action, mostly because Lara can be taken out with only a few hits. Although the game intentionally tells the player not to get caught, you'll find it relatively too easy to evade or take out enemies with no challenge. Whether hiding behind bushes, tall grass, or throwing a can for a distraction, Lara can make a way through the entire location without engaging a single enemy. When it comes to traversing, navigation isn't too hard alongside its mini-games used to figure out how to get to the next area. Swimming is also a common mechanic for traversal, with the only obstacle being finding safe spots to breathe in air before you run out, while climbing actions add more vertical level design. Then there are weapons and attributes. Lara starts with her bow, her easiest and arguably her best weapon in the game. It's best used for distance and stealth, both very important. Resources to make the arrows are commonly found, so restocking isn't much of a problem either. The more modern weapons become available as Lara continues the story. Next is the skill tree. Experience is acquired through fighting, oddly enough, finding resources, and language totems. The skill section is divided into 3 subsections, one for exploration and observation, then combat and weapons, and lastly crafting and stealth. All the skills contribute to Lara's advancement in her abilities, from battling enemies to finding and raiding those tombs, to discovering lore scattered throughout the world. A major addition are city hubs, areas where Lara can gather information, meet local NPCs, and participate in side quests. Unfortunately, the side quests aren't as compelling as the main story. The environment in the cities do have a lived-in quality that is attractive and is a welcome respite to the claustrophobic atmosphere of the crypts and caves that you'll find yourself in, and honestly remind me of that movie The Descent. Although Shadow the Tomb Raider has some lackluster tasks and story, it isn't lacking in variety for players. It is a fitting end to this trilogy, favoring tight controls, action set pieces, and compelling character work. We give it a 4 out of 5.
Crystal Dynamics CEO Phil Rogers indicated in a recent call with investors they will share information about the next Tomb Raider at an undetermined time in 2023. No specifics were made, but he did state Crystal Dynamics is looking forward to unveiling more about the upcoming game. I'm getting tired of reading. Time for an ad break?
Yes, it is. When we come back, we have a story recap for God of War 2018.
Did you know Del Mar College has classes to fit your schedule? They offer evening and online classes, 16-week, 15-week, 12, and even 8-week classes. The best thing is, these credits easily transfer to university. And hey, maybe university isn't your thing. You can stay right here at Del Mar and finish your certificate, associate's degree, and even a bachelor's of science in nursing. Del Mar has the tools you need to get educated in a way that fits your life. Apply today.
Having some trouble with your math class? Don't get overwhelmed. Let the tutors at the Del Mar College Math Learning Center be of help. The Del Mar College Math Learning Center offers math tutoring to all Del Mar College students and is located on the Heritage Campus in room 117 of the Solomon Coles building. Access to all they have to offer is included in your tuition, and it is here that you will find all the help you need to succeed in your math courses. Tutors are available to help with homework and studying and everything else you may need to get through your courses with confidence. The Del Mar College Math Learning Center is open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., as well as Fridays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Can't make it in person or just need some help at home? The Del Mar College Math Learning Center also offers online assistance as well as a wide assortment of handouts and lecture videos which are available at any time.
And using help from the Math Center, you can see I was able to complete this formula, saving the world from an asteroid.
Come and visit the Del Mar College Math Learning Center. You might just save the world.
Hey guys, and welcome back. With God of War Ragnarok, before somebody chews me out for saying that wrong, recent release, and because some of us don't have the time to replay an entire game, we wanted to give you a recap on the story so far. Take a look.
2018's God of War surprised its audience, changing the paper-thin, one-note character into an ogre with layers. This new direction rejuvenated the series that was thought to have run its course. With God of War Ragnarok recently released, let's check out what has happened so far. Taking place years after the previous trilogy, Kratos, the former God of War, sets a funeral pyre for his late wife Faye, along with their son Atreus. From there, Kratos takes his son hunting to evaluate his skills. To say the least, he isn't impressed, and is reminded that the boy is prone to sickness and therefore may not be ready for the journey ahead.
I haven't been sick in a long time. I can do this.
You are not ready.
When they returned, Kratos gathers Faye's ashes, and a stranger calls out with an accusation on the father and son's doorstep. He knows Kratos' true identity. After battling the stranger and leaving him for dead, Kratos and Atreus journey to fulfill Faye's last wish, to scatter her ashes from the highest peak in all the 9 realms. This realm being Midgard, the Earth realm, they assume the mountain not far off from home is where they need to go. Along their trek to the mountain, they meet Brock, a craftsman claiming to have made the axe Kratos wields, which was a parting gift from Faye before she died. After some minor improvements from Brock, the two engage in some target practice. Atreus hits a boar who they mistake as a common animal, but is a friend to a mysterious witch of the woods. They aid her in saving the boar, and while Atreus is busy, she reveals she knows Kratos is a god. Kratos has hidden his true nature from his son and is reluctant to tell him about it. At the witch's direction, Kratos and Atreus head to the Lake of the Nine. There they meet Sindri, Brock's brother, and arriving at the mountain they find that a black mist blocks their path. The witch shows up and takes them to a transporter to the other 9 realms. They need to get to the realm of the elves. There they need to extract a purifying light to use against the black mist blocking their path. Unknowingly navigating through a civil war between the elves, they take a portion of the light with them. Before leaving the realm they encounter an elven king of one of the warring factions. After killing him in self-defense, he issues a warning that they have interfered on the wrong side of their war. Once back on Midgard, Kratos uses the light to dissipate the mist, enter the mountain, and fight many enemies up the mountain, including a dragon. They save Sindri from the dragon, and he rewards them with arrows made from mistletoe. Kratos uses one of the arrows to fix Atreus' quiver. That's important. Finally, ascending up the mountaintop, they overhear 3 voices interrogating a 4th. Mimir, self-proclaimed smartest man alive, has been trapped in a tree and is being questioned by Baldur, the stranger from earlier, and 2 men who turn out to be the sons of the god of thunder, Thor. After the 3 gods leave, the father and son meet Mimir and inquire as to why they are being hunted.
Okay, there are a few gaps in my knowledge.
He may not know why, but he does inform them of a devastating fact. The highest peak isn't on Earth, but in the world of the giants. Mimir offers his services, but since his body is trapped, they settle on an obvious solution. They chop his head off, and hope that the witch can revive him. But in case it doesn't work, Mimir warns Kratos that continuing to hide his identity from Atreus will have consequences. After reviving Mimir, he reintroduces the witch as Freya, goddess and former wife of Odin. Kratos, prejudice against gods, takes it really well.
You're welcome.
Now continuing the journey with Mimir, they are surprised by the sons of Thor. Kratos manages to kill Magni, Thor's favored son, and leaves Modi, the other, to run away in cowardice. Atreus' sickness is triggered by the event. Later ambushed by Modi, Atreus' health takes a turn for the worse, and Kratos seeks Freya for help. Her solution? Go to the realm of the dead and take the heart of a creature that dwells there. Also, she reiterates that hiding the boy's true nature is the cause of his illness, and he won't be free from sickness until it's known. Before he leaves, she informs him his axe will be useless there, and he'll have to manage without it. Kratos thinks of a solution and ventures home. On his way, he is haunted by his sister Athena, and reveals the hidden weapons that identified him as the god of war. He goes to Hel, takes the heart, and revives Atreus. Cautious, Kratos only partially tells the truth of their godhood. Unfortunately, Atreus' interpretation of the revelation gave him permission to be well, awful. And he kills Modi against his father's direction. They find the rune information they need to travel to the realm of the giants and plan to return to the mountain summit to use as a bridge. Atop the mountain, again the two are surprised by Baldur, before they could walk through the portal. Atreus' actions land them in Hell, where Atreus lets go of his holier-than-thou thinking. While escaping Hell, they learn from illusions that Baldur is the son of Freya, and to Baldur's resentment, she had cursed him to avoid a needless death. Before leaving, they find a clue to another way to the giant realm's tallest peak. They need to get Mimir's missing eye to access it. For the final time, Baldur confronts the duo and Freya. Much to their dismay, Freya offers her life so Baldur could find peace. Unwilling to let the cycle of patricide continue, Kratos and Atreus step in to defend Freya. In the confrontation, Baldur unintentionally interacts with the mistletoe arrow, which leads to his defeat. Kratos kills Baldur, and Freya promises vengeance upon her slain son. Atreus is confused by her new resolve and doesn't look forward to engaging Freya as an enemy. In the realm of the giants, Kratos and Atreus discover murals that seemingly predicted every part of their journey up until that point, and they scatter Faye's ashes. With that, their task is completed, and the first signs of Ragnarok begin.
God of War 2018 is available on PlayStation 4 and 5 and on Steam, not stream, for PC. God of War Ragnarok is now available exclusively on PlayStation 4 and 5.
Well, all right. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.